Guys, so I am back with another Love and Hip Hop Hollywood Season 6 review. This review is for the part 2 of the reunion. If you did not catch my review for part 1 of the reunion, please go check that out, and I will have a link to that video in my description box. Now, this reunion starts with April saying that she should spill more tea on other things that happened between B2K members that other people don't know that happened before she even came along, because everybody was getting on the fact that her and Drew are together. And J Boog was telling her, go ahead and tell it. He doesn't care if she goes and tells it. But at the end of the day, nobody cares that Drew and April are together. They just don't understand why people have an issue with them two being together. And it does start off with people having an issue with it because she was with Omarion and they had 2 kids together. She was portrayed on the season that her and Omarion were on Love and Hip Hop together. She was portrayed as like this really good girlfriend, great mom, great everything, you know what I'm saying? And then his mom was made to look like a villain on the show, like she just didn't like April for no reason. And then now this comes out that her and Omarion break up and she's now dating his bandmate, who is Drew. Now people look at that like it's odd, because it's like you're dating this man's band member and somebody who he was friends with, even though Drew tried to downplay his friendship with Omarion during the first part of the reunion. Now, not just that was, okay, people see that they're together, okay, they got over it. But the fact of the matter is that they were lying to everybody about it. When people would ask them if they were together or if they were more than just friends, they would say that they weren't. They were just friends. And they were lying to everybody, including people who were really, really close to them. Now, not that they have to tell everybody their business, but it seemed as if they wanted people to be involved in their business and know that there was something between them, because they would constantly act like they were in a relationship. And if you really wanted to keep it under wraps and it wasn't serious at the time, you would have made it seem like you guys were just friends and not acted like you guys were more. So Jason ends up calling April fake at this reunion, and reason being is him and April have an issue with each other. He hired her to do Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored, and he felt like she wasn't bringing anything to the show, and that she was bringing ratings down and people weren't viewing it that much because of her. And so he fired her. And I do think that the way that he fired her was harsh. I think that he was really mean about it. And I think that he could have did it in a more nicer way. But I also see that there is some fakeness to April that I saw this season. I didn't really like what I saw from her. And so her and Jason have an issue with each other. And that's the reason why he called her fake. Moniece ends up leaving the stage because she was arguing with Drew and April, which I don't know why April was saying too much. When Moniece is addressing Drew, I feel like April should just keep her mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? Unless she wants Drew to be opening his mouth whenever she gets into it with Omarion. So she ends up leaving the stage, but she ends up coming back because Kendall's backstage and he was interviewing her and kind of calmed her down a bit. So she came back on stage, and Drew was saying that he didn't need to tell anyone about him and April because they weren't serious until after the tour was over, which I don't believe that it wasn't until after the tour was over that they became serious with one another, because you could already tell that there was something going on between the two of them before that. Now, Moniece says that she doesn't care about Drew and April's relationship, but her and April go back and forth about Moniece trashing April on social media. Now, I don't believe that Moniece doesn't care that April and Drew are together. I think she absolutely does have a problem with it. I think she has a problem with every single time he gets into a relationship with somebody. It's always going to bother her, because I feel like she still has feelings for him deep down inside, although she does need to move on because he's moved on and he clearly doesn't want to be with her. He acts like most of the time he doesn't even care about her. So I don't believe her when she says that she doesn't care about Drew and April being together. Now, Moniece said that she doesn't trash Drew in front of their son, but he trashes her in front of their son, and she doesn't like that, which if he does do that, I do think that that's wrong. I don't think that because you have an issue, with the person who you had a child with doesn't mean that you need to make your child have an issue with them too. Your child doesn't need to be aware of the issues that you two have with one another. They should just learn how to co-parent with each other, and it's a shame that they can't co-parent well. After all, their son is old enough for them they had way more than enough time to get it together and be able to learn to co-parent better. So I don't understand why they're still having these back and forths with one another. Now, Tiara Marie says that everybody speculated that Drew and April were together and they were lying about being just friends, because there was multiple times where they saw pictures of them together in a way that made it look like they were more than just friends. Now, Kendall's backstage, and he said that nobody cares if they're together. It's that they were lying about it. And I do think that that's part of it. I think that it's because every time somebody would ask Drew and April if they were together, they would say that they weren't. They were nothing but friends, best friends, but then they would do things to make people think that it was more. And I think that they wanted the attention for being in a relationship with one another. And so that's why they threw little breadcrumbs about whether or not they were together or not all the time. So I do think that that whole situation between them is really annoying. I think that Drew and April need to clean up their mess, because they made their relationship really, really messy. And like Omarion said in his interview about the whole situation, they need to change the narrative. Now, they talk about messy Zell, okay? Because Zell's extremely messy, taking the picture of Drew and April in bed together and giving it to Jason Lee. He was trying to say that he wasn't being messy when he did that, but he was absolutely being messy when he did that. He tried to say that he put it out there to Jason Lee because of the fact that he just wanted it to be known that they were together, because they kept trying to tell everybody that they weren't when they really was. But that's not the way that it was portrayed on the show. The way it was portrayed on the show was Zell had an issue with April because he saw a Instagram story post where April and Brittany B were hanging out together, partying together, and him and Paris had an issue with that because April's supposed to be Paris and Zell's friend, and they all had a common enemy in Brittany B, and then all of a sudden Brittany B and April were hanging out together. So that's when he went and sent those pictures to Jason Lee. So if that's not the way that it happened, I don't know, but that's the way that it was portrayed on the show. Now, they were talking about Jason because he put the information out on his blog, and he said that he's just doing his job, so he doesn't understand why people get in their feelings about it. But I can agree with Jason in that sense that why would you try to be friends with a gossip blogger in the first place? Like, they're going to put out your information. Nobody's exempt from it, unless you're paying off the blogger not to post you. Then, you're going to get posted. So whether you're friends with them or not, that doesn't make any difference. Just like, that's A1 had to learn that the hard way with Jason Lee. He ended up putting out there that him and Summer Bunny messed with each other, and him and A1 were supposed to be friends. So I don't know why April and Drew thought that they were going to be exempt from that. Now, Jason was saying that he had a problem with April, but he didn't have a problem with Drew. But he ended up having a problem with Drew because Drew came at him sideways because he said something about April, and YoYo jumped in defense of April and said that Drew was supposed to do that. Drew's supposed to defend her, whether you like her or not. That's his girlfriend, and even though you respect him, clearly you don't, because you disrespected somebody that he's in a relationship with. And I agree with YoYo. I think that Drew did what he was supposed to do, whether you like that they're in a relationship or not. He defended his girlfriend, and that's what he was supposed to do. So I don't know why Jason tried to make it seem like it was wrong for Drew to come at him the way that he did. He came at him for a reason, and I think that Drew did the right thing. Now, Moniece talks about her mental health, okay, because we all know that, Moniece struggles with depression. Now, she was saying that she doesn't want to be judged for admitting that she needs help, because she does admit that she needs help in this season, and I think that she shouldn't be judged for it. And so she said that she doesn't know why Drew hates her and why he hates her so much, that co-parenting is so difficult. And I just feel like they have a lot of animosity towards one another. I don't know what happened in their relationship and why they broke up, but whatever it is, neither one of them can get over it, and they're going to have to go to therapy or counseling or something with one another in order to make it work with the co-parenting, because it's not getting any better from here. It's almost like every season it gets worse and worse with the two of them. Now, Drew said that Moniece needs to admit that she needs help and just say that she needs him to take full custody of their son, because I think they have joint custody of their son right now. And Moniece has been struggling with her mental health, and Moniece at one point said that it was her week to have their son. Okay, and she said that she was having a hard time with her mental health at one point, and she called Drew up and said that she's having a hard time and she needs him to take their son, and Drew told her no. And the fact that he told her no, I think is disgusting. It's like, if she's telling you she's struggling with her mental health, she's having a mental breakdown right now, you should go pick up your son. Which he said that he said no to her because it was her week and he's not putting up with her bullshit, because she does stuff like that all the time. But I think, like, take your son if she's over there having a mental breakdown, because he doesn't need to see that and he doesn't need to be around that. Now, even Booby stepped in at that point and told Drew that he was wrong for that. That even though it was Moniece's week to have their son, doesn't mean that he shouldn't have came and picked up his son if Moniece was having a hard time with her mental health at that point, which I absolutely agree with Booby with that. Now, one thing that I did agree with Drew on and that I did think was good was that he told Moniece that she should give him full custody of their son until she gets her mental health together. And once her mental health is back on track, that they would get joint custody again. Now, I don't know if, he meant that or not, but I do think that if Moniece needs to get her mental health together, I don't think that she should have her son, living with her while she's going through what she's going through. I think that she needs to get herself healthy. And if Drew ends up taking their son just for a little bit while she gets her mental health together, I think that that's something that she may have to do. But, we'll see if they end up doing that, and we'll see what ends up happening with them. I really hope that they get it together for the sake of their son, and both of their mental health, because all this arguing back and forth with one another is just ridiculous. If I was April, I wouldn't even be in a relationship with Drew, because I would get a headache from him and Moniece's bullshit all the time. So I honestly don't think that Drew and April's relationship is going to last, and that's unfortunate because they are together and their relationship has caused a lot of controversy. And then if they don't even last, it's like, what was all of it for? Now, they start talking about the whole drama between Brittany B, Lyrica, and Sia, which I thought that their drama was dumb. I don't even think that their drama was serious. I don't think their drama was even necessary to make a storyline. Sia, we don't really know her like that. We just know that she is Lyrica's friend. And Brittany B basically said that she met Sia first, and Sia introduced her to Lyrica, and that they all hung out together, which Lyrica said was a lie. She said they didn't all hang out together and they weren't friends. Now, Brittany said that she chose Lyrica to be in a session with her instead of Sia, and Sia was mad about that. Now, Sia said Brittany switched up on her once she introduced her to Lyrica, and Lyrica was saying that Brittany B and her were never friends, and that Brittany B was a fan of hers and she wanted to be friends with her, but she wasn't trying to be her friend. Now, I just think the whole thing is stupid. I thought it was a waste of time to even talk about that whole situation. The best part of that situation was Ray J getting his stupid ass up there and trying to tell them to make peace, which he can't even make peace in his own life with Princess, so he has no reason to be telling anybody to make any type of peace, because he can't even do it in his own marriage. But Ray J's little funny part was the best part of this little fiasco between Lyrica and Brittany B. It's like, whether she was your friend, she's not your friend, who cares? Get over it. You guys weren't even close. Who cares if she's telling people she doesn't know you? If she's telling people she doesn't know you, then tell people you don't know her either and move on with your life. I thought that whole situation was completely dumb and a waste of time. Now, I thought that Kendall was funny, okay, because A1's mom, Pam, was wearing a dress. She was done up all nice, but he said she was sitting like a basketball player on a bench, because she had her legs spread wide open and she had her hands like between her legs, and he kept telling her to close her legs and sit right because she wasn't sitting properly, which I thought that was funny. So I paid more attention to that little stuff than I did to the whole Brittany B and Lyrica drama. I asked YoYo if she was excited to get back into making music again, and YoYo said that the thing that she was most nervous about was making new music, because the new generation seems to not have any respect for the ones who paved the way, which I absolutely agree with her. I think that music now is not the same as it was before. I think it was better before, and that's why my playlist is mostly all music before 2011, because things started to go downhill from there. And so most of my music is like older music. And so I definitely agree with her on that. Now, she said that if she could give advice to anybody trying to make music now, it would be that they need to focus on being themselves and not try to be somebody in the media that they're not who they truly aren't, because then they go around saying that they're misunderstood in the public, and it's like, no, that's what you're portraying yourself as, that's what you're marketing yourself as. And so if you just go into it being yourself, you can get fans from being who you are and not trying to be someone you're not. Now, she was saying that people need to also learn to be less sexual with their music, because their talent should speak for themselves, and obviously sex sells, but you don't have to overdo it and be over the top with it. So I definitely agree with her on that, and I hope that she does well with her music now, and also she's helping other people get into the music industry, which I think is something that, is good for her to do. K Michelle was saying how she was getting ready to start doing her country music album, which I hope she definitely is successful in doing that. It's going to be a difficult road ahead trying to break into the country music industry because country music fans are very diehard and they're very picky on who they listen to. And so I'm hoping that she does well, but it's definitely going to be a difficult ride for her. Now, she says that she's stressed over the IVF process, but that she's almost done with it. Now, they asked her if she was going to still use Toné as her surrogate, and she said no. She said that Toné told her that somebody knocked on her door and asked her if she was carrying K Michelle's kids yet, and that scared K Michelle, and so K Michelle said that she went with somebody else, which I completely agree with her. I think she should have dropped her from the get-go before that even happened, because it was weird. Toné was trying to be friends with her. She was communicating with her all the time like that, and it was like she wanted to be a part of her and K Michelle's life, which was really weird. And then her boyfriend was too involved. He wasn't even her husband, he was her boyfriend, and he was asking K Michelle for a contract and all that shit like that. And it's like, you don't want the process to be even more stressful than it already is. So I'm glad that she's going to find somebody else to carry her twins for her. Ray J says that he went to Vegas trying to launch a new brand and that he regrets going because he got in trouble by Princess. I think that Princess over-exaggerated that. I don't think it was that serious, him going to Vegas really quickly. She made it a big deal because their daughter's birthday was coming up, but she was celebrating her birthday like for multiple days in a row, and I don't think that she should have been mad at him for trying to do some type of work. But again, after what Ray J did in Vegas recently, after seeing that, I don't disagree with her for being bothered about him going, because it's like he doesn't know how to act. He acts right for a certain period of time and then he goes back to his old ways again. Now, I mean, she knew how he was when she married him, so she's going to have to figure that out, because now they're expecting another baby, and hopefully they can figure things out, because right now there's no updates on Princess and Ray J right now since that whole shit went down with him blocking her and leaving her and the baby stranded for a few days in Vegas. So we'll see what ends up happening with them soon, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be in the blogs anytime soon now, because Ray J and Princess stay inside the blogs. Now, they end with talking about the stupid beef with Brittany B, Zell, and Paris. Zell and Paris need to learn how to act. They do not act right at all. They act like a couple of hyenas acting stupid every single time. They create unnecessary beef with people, and I think that they need to learn how to calm it down. If Paris wants to be an actress, she's going to have to learn to change her ways a bit, because her reputation is not very good, especially because K Michelle was saying that she stole from her. So, I mean, she already has a bad reputation, and then you got Zell, who got the reputation of being messy, and I just feel like they're just the messy twins. You know what I'm saying? They're extremely messy. They're annoying. They do bring some form of entertainment to the show, and that's about it. They bring the messiness, and that's really about it. So the reunion cut there, I thought it was a pretty good part of the reunion. I'm interested to see what happens in part 3 of this reunion, because yes, this reunion has 3 parts to it. I will come back and post my review for episode 1 of Love and Hip Hop New York, which I'm excited to do the reviews for. And I want to know what you guys think about this episode down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like this video, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and thank you to everyone who's already supporting my channel. I appreciate you all so very much, and until next time, I will see you in my next video.